हेलो एंड वेलकम बैक। हम इस वीक जैसे जैसे चीजें समझते जा रहे हैं, आपसे शेयर करते जा रहे हैं। आपने देखा भी होगा कि टैरिफ अनाउंसमेंट्स के पहले हमने कवरेज किया था, उसके बाद भी हम कवरेजेस कर रहे हैं। वो कंटिन्यूस बेसिस पे करते रहेंगे और वो तो आपको एक ओवरव्यू देता रहेगा कि ओवरऑल किस तरीके से ये पूरी स्टोरी अनवील हो रही है और क्या क्या पैरामीटर्स हैं, क्या क्या चीजें हैं, क्या क्या सेक्टर्स हैं जो इम्पैक्ट होने वाले हैं। बट उससे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट मार्केट किस तरीके से बिहेव कर रहा है और मार्केट कहाँ जाएगा, वो तो हम जैसा कि हमेशा से करते आए हैं, वीकली राउंड अप में एक से समझते हैं। और वापस से आज है फ्राइडे, एक बहुत ही रोलर कोस्टर वीक खत्म हुआ है, बट समवॉट इन लाइंस ही रहा है जो एके ने लास्ट वीक हमको बताया था। उन्होंने हमको रेंज बड़ी बताई थी और उसी बड़ी रेंज में मार्केट पूरा अपना मूव करता हुआ दिखा है। तो चलिए, विदाउट वेस्टिंग मच ऑफ टाइम, अब देखते हैं आगे वो किस तरीके से बताते हैं कि मार्केट कहाँ जाने वाला है और क्या क्या। गुड इवनिंग।
Good evening, Rachit. How are you doing?
यू रियली थिंक आई शुड बी आंसरिंग दिस?
Yeah, it was quite a roller coaster this week. It was, but I think this. If you remember last time, on this very talk, I told you that we are entering into a long weekend, and the statements keep changing day in and day out. So we don't know after 3 days where we'll land up, either up, down, wherever. And I also told you that the 2nd of April is a crucial date to watch out for.
राइट।
Yeah, and yeah, on that basis, of course, I expected markets to be in a certain range, which it kind of respected, because a lot of solid resistance was being built up at 23,800, and exactly upside में वही point पे touch करके market घूमा है. uh, One thing that I was not expecting was this closing today. Actually, uh, you know, I expected the tariffs to have a kind of a this sort of an impact for sure, uh, but that impact lasting 2 days on two successive sessions, and even after that, towards the closing of the week, giving up, uh, giving a weaker closing, that was not something that I expected. In fact, you'll be surprised to know that आज जब सुबह market 23,000 के नीचे trade कर रहा था, I was somehow, in the back of my mind, kind of expecting markets to actually pick up and close just about at 23,000 odd, 23,000, just above 23,000. Why I say, because I've been following the 6 month chart for a couple of weeks now. Now the 6 month chart, and that if you remember, I talked about the lower high uh, pattern. वो lower high actually 23,000 पे cross करता है, but markets made a high of 23,800, this recent high. So it has broken down that pattern, which is again suggested short term bullishness. Okay, which also makes 23,000 to be a very very strong psychological and support level.
राइट।
तो 23,000 को ब्रेक करके नीचे बंद होना, इवन आई थिंक इट क्लोज ऑलमोस्ट 100 पॉइंट्स बिलो 23,000, 23,
राइट।
so 22,904 if I'm right. So this is a sign that short term we may see the weakness to continue. और ये क्यों हुआ है, ये तो मतलब दिस वीक, लाइक आई टोल्ड यू, 2 तारीख को छोड़ के और टैरिफ को छोड़ के कोई और ट्रिगर है ही नहीं इस वीक में. तो वी आर दिस वीक वी हैव नॉट focused on what our problems are, what our corporate results are going to be, or the whole focus has shifted to what Donald Trump is saying, and how it will, I think what we are doing is giving this too much of a weightage than it deserves. Why I say so? Because interestingly, this is going to create a disruption. You and me know, everybody knows this from the day it was announced. We knew this was coming. कोई ऐसा तो नहीं आज ही दो दो महीने पहले से अनाउंस हुआ है. We knew this was coming. This is going to cause a disruption. But what will be the extent of that disruption? We don't know. I am speaking to a lot of people who are making hundreds of different possible scenarios. कि अमेरिका ने ये किया है तो चाइना
No,
ये कर देगा,
but
फिर इंडिया
in
ये कर
this
देगा.
in this there is, I believe there is a simple difference. uh, we were aware that he'll be coming out with a certain amount of tariff plans and everything, but we weren't were we actually prepared for the kind of quantum in which he has come out with the duties? I mean, there are certain countries on which he has put tariff around 70%. So the quantum by which he has come out, don't you think that particular thing has triggered this fall? And
Okay, how I see this is, again, he had been quite aggressive with tariff from day one. Okay,
right.
I expected some sort of a complete end to end all country tariff to come in, which is coming at 10%. So any country which is doing trade with US has is facing a bare minimum 10% tariff.
Right.
Okay, then there are some countries in the spectrum of 36-40%, like China or Vietnam, and then there are most countries between 18 and 30%, जिसमें आपका
Hmm.
यूरोपियन यूनियन आ जाता है पूरा. इंडिया is at 26%, which I believe is not a figure that India cannot live by. मतलब reciprocal tariff, he had at one point of time said that we are going to charge them, which means rest of the world, what they charge us.
Hmm. Hmm.
India is still charging them 52%, and we are giving 26%. Okay, now the quantum that you talked about, now it will, see, broadly speaking, it will be causing disruption to countries which are extremely dependent on foreign trade. Their large part of economy either is not producing something, or is consuming excess, or have full of consumers, or sorry, or have full of producers and there is no consumption. So whether I have very very big surplus or very very big deficit demand of a particular good, तब
Hmm.
मैं रिलाई करूंगा एक फॉरेन कंट्री के साथ ट्रेड करने में और यूएस के साथ ट्रेड करने में. ओके, my my point is that in a broader scheme of things,
Hmm.
a country like India, which has a strong production capability as well as a big population for consumption, for domestic consumption, जो हम स्टोरी की बात कर रहे हैं कि भाई हमारे देश में सब कंज्यूम हो सकता है.
Hmm.
तो a country like India is, if there is a worse of country and there is a better of country in this whole tariff game spectrum, we are up there. We are at the upper end of the spectrum.
Okay.
हाँ, so देखिए, ये जो टैरिफ है ये पूरी दुनिया पे आया है, but
Hmm.
we have to, but somehow I feel that the markets are giving a little more weightage to this thing uh, than it actually requires in the broader scheme of things, on a, or even in a short to medium term, when all of this noise will settle down, we will eventually, it will boil down to our own company performances, our
Hmm.
own stock performances, our own corporate performances. वो
Which we
मूव
will
देख,
eventually get to
हाँ,
see
वो
from
जो,
10th of.
yeah, which we will see from 10th. Yes, our Q4 results are going to come in from 10th. So we are deviating from the main topic. Main topic is how our Q4 is going to be, जिसमें रचित इवन आफ्टर दिसंबर से जो स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट ऑफ फॉर्मर गवर्नर ऑफ आरबीआई की एफ इस पूरे फाइनेंशियल ईयर के लिए टारगेट कट है, ग्रोथ का सब कुछ है, तब से जो नेगेटिविटी हैज बीन ड्रिल्ड इनटू मार्केट, द पेसिमिज्म दैट इज देयर in terms of corporate performance and economic slowdown. Now everybody knows there is an economic slowdown. Nobody is expecting bumper results. So this becomes a very, very, tricky situation, I would say. हम बिना एक्सपेक्टेशन के बैठे हुए हैं रिजल्ट में. अब हमारी एक्सपेक्टेशन मैच होती है तो भी बाजार नीचे जाता है, हमारी एक्सपेक्टेशन से जरा ऊपर हो जाता है तो बाजार सस्टेन कर जाता है. पर हमारी एक्सपेक्टेशन पे अगर बहुत बड़ा पॉजिटिव सरप्राइज आता है तब जाके वी विल बी, बिकॉज देयर इज सो मच पेसिमिज्म कि अभी ये बोलना कि थिंग्स हैव इम्प्रूव्ड और आर इन प्रोसेस ऑफ इम्प्रूविंग, यू टेक अ 2 year विजन एंड स्टार्ट इन्वेस्टिंग नाउ. तो वो अभी जैसे बुल मार्केट में 2 year विजन एंड स्टार्ट इन्वेस्टिंग नाउ, विद इन 6 months द प्राइसेस आर already at 2 year forward valuation. That happens in a bull market, not in a bear market. Abhi, because reluctance will be there, buying will be there. So the prices to reach 2 year forward market, forward valuation, going to take that much more time. So it'll be interesting to see from next week overall how our results are doing.
Okay.
Economic numbers again. See, there was a figure of GST collection going to almost 2 lakh crore, 1.96 or something, 1.96 lakh crore. But again, March can be an anomaly with these figures. GST ho ya mutual fund investments ho. So if this trend continues on to April, May, then we are a little more assured that things are going for better. But yeah, but speaking of next week, जिस तरह से आज क्लोजिंग दिया है, मेरे को एक शॉर्ट टर्म बेरिशनेस लगती है, बट दिस इज अ वेरी शॉर्ट टर्म बिकॉज आई जस्ट सॉ द चार्ट. The moving averages for 10 days and 15 days have been crossed as under towards the closing. So again, this is a thing, and again we have a truncated week coming ahead also.
Right.
We have a holiday on Thursday, so we have days in a very volatile global environment. We have days where we are off, and the rest of the world is open. So that itself is a lot of positions do not build or unwind around that this sort of position.
Also, we have a RBI policy on 9th. So
Yes, that is correct. RBI policies on 9th again. Then a lot of hope with the recent fall in inflation. Lot of hope is there with for a rate cut. So that'll be a key thing to watch. Although the markets have not really spoken about it in the last week, because this whole tariff business has kind of subsided every other news. मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ कि हम लोग बहुत ज्यादा इसको इम्पोर्टेंस दे रहे हैं. हम अपना वी आर नॉट सीइंग भाई आरबीआई पॉलिसी है, क्वार्टर फोर रिजल्ट्स है. There are a lot of things in our own domestic situation where we are not giving enough focus to, which we should start doing that. So going forward coming week may, again, like I told you, my range would be same, 23 to 23,800. I would say same. Things like tariff announcements, global correction will push this towards down, and it will come back to 23,000 plus. As of now, I don't see a factor which is, see, 2 days we have seen correction after this tariffs have been in place. मेरे को इसमें इस चीज को लेके फर्दर करेक्शन नहीं आता विद द करंट सेट ऑफ न्यूज. अब वो वीकेंड पे कुछ और अनाउंसमेंट, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल इट्स वेरी सिंपल. मेरे को ये अब जाके पता चल रहा है कि शायद ये क्यों आया होगा, because after market got over somewhere around 4 o'clock, there came a news that China has imposed 34% on US as a retaliation.
Right.
So this has come, maybe this sort of information was, floating around, or the foreign funds might be having this information, which is why there was a sharp correction towards the end of this thing. What it does is nothing to do with India or India's situation in this whole tariff game. It does not. What is does is only one thing: create fear.
Hmm.
US ने 34% लगाया चाइना पे. You see how this is, you see the narrative, how this is reported in the news. China has put 34% tariff on US in retaliation.
Hmm. As if
Retaliation,
it's a state of war that they're into.
correct. So retaliation is something that you associate with war. If this is a trade war, this is a fear mongering word. ये fear की वजह से मार्केट नीचे जा रहा है. मुझे I don't see a reason why, as of now, I don't see a reason why it should be below 23,000. Unless we start getting bad results, actual bad results, corporate results, and then there is a fresh round of selling based on that we are separate. वो हम अगले वीक बात करेंगे. जब रिजल्ट आना शुरू हो गए वो हम अगले वीक बात करेंगे. बट करंट सिचुएशन में मुझे 23,000 के नीचे नहीं लगता है. इट शुड नॉट बी. जो आज हुआ है वो थोड़ा एक, आप बोल सकते हैं इट इज लाइक अ एग्जैजरेटेड रिएक्शन, इफ आई मे से सो. अगर
So
एग्जैजरेटेड,
also we can put it like this, that at times when we try to change the direction, there is a rubber band effect which comes into play, and
करेक्ट.
just try to stretch. So it is just a stretch that we are seeing,
Yes.
not that we
And
have changed the levels.
yes,
Right.
yes.
So for next week as well, I think it can be a happy thing for the bulls at least, that the range is intact, and from here, if we are seeing any movement to around 23,500 or 23,800, we have a
Hmm.
decent upside which is there in the system, and the range is intact. We have to very cautiously watch for the RBI policy and the results to come. And
Sure.
this range can be distorted only if there is a statement coming in from Donald Trump, or some more such kind of retaliation happening from any other major countries. Then only we might see a diversion. But otherwise, the range is there, and we are starting the next week with a lower end of the range. So there is a possibility that bulls might get an opportunity for an upside. Is this
Yeah.
what we are?
Correct. This is exactly what I want to say. Even though this week has ended with last 2 days of full pessimism and all that, I strongly say that do not create a short position. अगेन शॉर्ट, ये शॉर्ट करने का मार्केट नहीं है. ये मेरे हिसाब से ये थोड़ा, इट इज लाइक एन ओवर रिएक्शन, इट्स लाइक एन एग्जैजरेटेड रिएक्शन. इट विल टू दैट एक्सटेंट कवर, मतलब टू दैट एक्सटेंट भले यहाँ से 200 पॉइंट ही कवर करके 23, 100, 200 के बीच में सेटल हो जाए, मे बी वो लंबा रैली ना दे, बट टू स्मॉल एक्सटेंट इट विल कवर in the next week. So I strongly suggest don't create any short position unless you have seen the market, unless there is fresh selling, fresh news flow which has triggered fresh selling. वैसी सिचुएशन नहीं हो तो इस पोजीशन में आप शॉर्ट मत क्रिएट करिएगा, वेट करके लॉन्ग कर लीजिएगा, फिर भी ठीक है.
चलिए, अमेजिंग इट वाज लिसनिंग फ्रॉम योर साइड. शॉर्ट मार्क करिएगा, मार्केट में अपसाइड रहेगा. एंड थैंक यू फॉर गाइडिंग अस फॉर द वीक अहेड, एंड
Thanks.
मोस्ट प्रॉब्ली we'll catch up again in the next week and see as to where are we heading. Till then, thank you, bye bye, and have a happy weekend.
Thank you. Happy weekend to you. Bye bye.